That's really cool. I had an outfit just like that when I was 12. Just gorgeous. It reminds me of the Beatle record Revolver. Look at this. Hey everybody, thank you so much for coming back and seeing me and Desi. I hope you had a great week. I had such an interesting week. Now, this week was pretty emotional. There were a lot of plans that had to get finalized for my son's wedding in August. I had to have my measurements done and sent in so they could sew my dresses to my figure. The dresses I'm going to wear to the wedding. And on a very emotional note, I had to say goodbye to my friend Barb. She's in very good health. She just has to move. Well, I've known Barb since second grade, and she was my best friend in grade school and high school, and she's just such a beautiful person. And we lost track of each other because she moved up here to the city that I live in now. Well, when I moved up here, Barb and I had a year together, a year to, go shopping and go thrifting, and she helped me with so many things. She introduced me to people and shops, and she helped me at Christmas time with my Christmas tour, getting me just the right red berries. She's so special. But she's moving. She's moving to Jackson, and she's moving for the best reason in the world, to be by her daughter and her grandchildren. How about that? So I'm happy for her. And I'm sad for me. I really want a makeover. I need a makeover. I've been obsessed with this all week long, that I really want to do a complete makeover. And last week when I was doing my Jane Asher look from the 60s, I had so much fun. And I got to do my hair a different way, and I got to use different, types of makeup and colors in a different way, and I loved it. And you did too. And you said, that straighter hair kind of suits you, or I like you in that little black cap, and it just made me so happy. And I started to think, well, why was I so happy? And I think it was just because it was something different. So I started reading about why women go through makeovers. And it isn't that they're following trends, or it isn't anything external that's going on, like somebody says, oh, I think you should change your look. It's something that happens to a woman, especially a mature woman. Something happens inside where she's starting to feel different. She's looking at the world differently, and she's looking at herself and the world differently. And so she wants to change. And, that can be something small. Maybe just change your hair color. Or maybe something big, like, I think I'll lose 100 pounds and start wearing pink tennis shoes. It can be anything. It's a makeover. It can be whatever you want it to be. And it usually always turns out fabulous, because It is sincerely the new you. And I love that. And that's what I've been craving and didn't really understand it. I thought some of the things I've been doing this last few months was all, well, I got to get ready for my son's wedding. I want to look my best. Not that I want to look younger or, really. I just want to look my best. But I realized I am not that same woman I was 3 years ago, 2 years ago. I'm not the same woman I was a year ago. Things have changed, and I like it. So I need to change my hair. I need to change my makeup. I need to change the size of my body, and I need to change my attitude. And so I've already started putting in motion a lot of these things, and I just wanted to quick go over some of the things that I think were dragging me down and making me look 100 years old. And I want to share with you what's making me so happy now with these changes that I'm making and why I made them and how I'm making them, and you know the drill. And then I want to know, how about you? Do you ever feel like you're brand new inside and you just want to change? When it comes to plastic surgery is up when it comes to surgery for the body. Sculpting your body, like with liposuction, tummy tuck, uplifting our breasts, lifting our breast, whatever you call it. But, that's all up. But as far as facelifts and filler, that's down. The beauty channels on YouTube are collectively down 23%. And for the very first time, makeup sales have gone down, and some companies are really going out of business. And I'm thinking, why? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that when it comes to, let's say, a makeover or what makes us feel beautiful and strong and confident, why does that have less to do with our makeup and our face than it used to? Makeup. I think there comes a time where you look in the mirror and you know, like, whoa, I have to change my makeup. This is not working. If you've ever, gotten ready to go somewhere and you get in your car and you look in the rearview mirror and you go, oh my God, I don't want to go, because everything is wrong. What was happening to me is my foundation was looking dry and flat, even with Halo Glow. It wasn't looking right. I didn't have that real kind of dewy, kind of natural glow. It looked a tad artificial. I was overdrawing my eyebrows. It was like the kiss of death. They were just too dark because my hair was super blonde. And I was filling them in too much. And the more I filled in my brows, like the younger girls, the older I looked. I looked so artificial. It just reminded me of like that old movie, is it Sunset Boulevard? I'm ready for my clothes. That's what I look like. Anyway, so that absolutely had to change. And just the way that my hair was, it was too blonde because, well, my foundation was too dark. And I didn't even know this until I started using a bronzer. And I was doing some contouring with a bronzer, and it was sort of tanning up my décolleté and my face. And in doing that, I began aging myself. And that contrast between hair that was too light for my real complexion, because once I brought down that foundation that was a good match for me, then my hair just washed me completely out. It didn't make any sense. Lipstick shade. I have always loved my wine lipsticks in the 80s and the 90s, 6 months ago. And I have always believed that any beautiful, classy woman can wear any shade lipstick that she wants and she can pull it off. I just don't think shades ever go out of style. But what happened is I wouldn't let go of those deep wine lipsticks. And what was happening is that undertone of blue was bringing out this ashness in my face, and it looked like I died yesterday. And I realized once I went to a much warmer lipstick, I love the MAC lipsticks because every shade that you pick that you think might remotely look good on you will look good on you because the pigmentation is so pure. And sometimes you can go to Marshall's and you can pick up MAC lipsticks for $8. And they're beautiful. So I went to a much warmer lip. I went to a much lighter tone in foundation, and that was a huge game changer. I stopped overdrawing and filling in my brows. I stopped with these eyeshadows that had a pinkish undertone. What was happening with the pink undertone for my eyeshadow was it started to look like I had something wrong with my eye, like maybe somebody punched me. It looked like maybe I fell, and it didn't look right. And then when I would go with a very deep brown, and line my eyes with it and use shadow underneath my eye, honestly, again, it looked like I died yesterday. I couldn't do it. There was like a zombie look to it, only not even kitsch, not even fun. So the shadows that I use now, very neutral palettes, there was a flatness that was happening to my makeup. And I thought, well, maybe if I use an illuminating blush, that will help me look a little bit more dewy or glowy. And that wasn't working. And then I picked up a trick from a makeup artist that did a video a few years ago. And I never heard of this before, but she said, get yourself one of the very best contour and highlighting palettes you can get your hands on, one that you can afford. This is by Lorac. This is my favorite. This particular Lorac contour palette has these shiny shades, and they are so creamy and so dewy, but very lightweight. So they do not add texture to your cheeks. But what do? They add this dewiness, this natural glow that blends right in with your foundation and any blush you're using. So when you sort of turn your head, it's this all over red carpet glow, but it doesn't look like you've added any bling, any shine to this portion of your cheeks that might accentuate any type of lines that you might have there. This is just dewy. It's a whole lot better than smearing Vaseline on your cheeks. I mean, the concept is sort of the same. I can never get over the power of makeup. What I want to do right now is do everything I just talked about. I want to show you a wine lipstick. I want to darken up my foundation. I want to use a eyeshadow that is a little pinkish. And I want to fill in my eyebrows like they tell you that you should. So I want to show you the difference in how I'm going to look. I feel so silly doing this, but I think it'll be fun. What do you think? All right. Found a new stylist here in my city, and I just love her. We just clicked, and she is so hip and cool. And I kept an open mind, and I went to her and had my hair done this week. And I said, go ahead and just give me some new colors because my hair is too light. I have dialed back on the tone of my foundation, and I want my hair not to be so light. It's looking silly, and I would like to have it have a little bit more dimension. I showed her a picture of how my hair looked about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, because, there's quite a few of you that say, I really liked your hair color way back in like 2016. And my reply always was, well, I don't have that same hair. And that is true. I don't know where it went, but anyway. But just because I don't have all of that big, thick hair doesn't mean that I really can't take the advice and maybe try to go back to that rich brown that I had with chunkier blonde highlights. So I thought I'm going to try that, but maybe I'll just go slow. It looks darker in person and a little bit lighter on camera because I'm under some lights, but I do like it. I'll never be able to go back to that deep, dark brown hair that I used to have because that's just not me. And I've always believed that the older a woman gets, she needs to lighten up. Every time I move, I gain weight. 4 years ago, I put on 20 pounds when I moved into my little 2-bedroom apartment in the woods. And I put on 17 pounds when I moved up here to my new little cottage. And why do I do that? Why did I do that? I don't exactly know, but my theory is that when I feel vulnerable and a little bit lonely and scared, I nurture myself with food. I will eat things I normally wouldn't eat, like, a cheeseburger. Well, I'm getting so much exercise, planting and decorating. I can have onion rings and a cheeseburger and a hot-fudge sundae, can't I? Why not? And at first, you never gain any weight, right? And then all of a sudden, you get on the scales and, oh, dear Lord, what have I done? And then what? Because you're total, at least for me, I'm totally now in this pattern of it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I can't sleep. Well, how about 4 or 5 little crackers with some peanut butter on them? That'll help. That always puts me to sleep. I swear to God, peanut butter on crackers is better than any Valium anybody could give me, which, of course, you can't have Valium after you turn 65. Anyway, I digress. I had to stop. My blood pressure was going through the roof. My son's wedding was coming up. Every diet I had tried for the last 4 months had failed, and I just decided, okay, that's it. I'm gonna create my own diet. I'm gonna pretty much get rid of carbohydrates. I'm not gonna eat after 8 o'clock at night. I'm going to drink a lot of water, and I'm going to consume some dark chocolate, about 170 calories of dark chocolate every day, because that's going to speed up my metabolism. It's going to help me with appetite and mood. And so all of those things worked. I've lost about almost 15 pounds, but it's taken me 3 months. And I'm happy. And what I realized is that my doctor told me that if I lost weight, it wouldn't affect my blood pressure or my blood sugar, and that's not true. My blood pressure is now the lowest it's been in years. And that probably isn't not just because I've lost 15 pounds, but because I'm walking. I also am taking better care of myself. I'm getting more sleep. I'm taking better supplements. You just get this feeling that once you get the ball rolling, one thing leads to another. It's like dominoes. It's like once you start taking care of one thing in your life, it's like everything else follows, and it's fantastic. And everything is natural. I haven't had to go to a surgeon to change anything. I've just been doing all of this at home. My little makeover is all home brew. And then you feel like, you look in the mirror, and for the very first time this last week, I looked in the mirror and went, I'm thinner. I'm getting my swag back. I can wear belts again. I can wear my little A-line skirts again. Holy crap. I'm nowhere near my goal. I'm 15 pounds away from my goal, but I am so happy and I feel so empowered. And I know so many of you feel the same way, that you've dropped some weight this year and you're feeling fantastic.
It's funny, when you get older, you look at things so differently. When I think of a makeover, I do think of my figure and my hair and my makeup. But more importantly, I think about my life and my attitude.
I realize, why am I making myself 70? I mean, I am 69. I won't be 70 until January 29th, 2025. So I thought, am I just anxious to get there? Or am I trying to change when no change is required? It isn't like I'm 69 today and tomorrow I'll be 70 and I just have to change who I am and my attitude of thinking. You know, I'm going in to Wednesday 69, and when I come out on Thursday, I'm going to be an old lady. And stop. What are you talking about? As women, how often do we ask ourselves, what makes me happy? What really makes me happy? What we ask is, how can I make you happy? How can I improve this situation for the family? What can I do to make a difference? But very rarely do we ever sit down at a quiet moment and ask ourselves, what would make us happy? So if we don't really know what is really going to make us happy, if we don't have any goals, if we have nothing to walk to, if we don't know where a finish line is for our lives, then what are we doing? We're just drifting. And that's what happened to me. And I've talked about this before a few years ago, and I did it again. I just started, after I got the house, and I was so happy, and I love it here, and it was so cozy in the winter. But it's like, now what? But I never let myself just sit down and ask myself, what's going to make me happy? You know what's going to make me happy? Being healthy and feeling. Not that I'm coming into the end of my life and that I have to change, because I don't have to change inside. I can be just as vibrant and energetic. And I not only have achieved some goals that I set for myself, but I have new ones. So that's what I had to change. And it has been wonderful.
Desi, what are you doing in the daisies? What are you doing in the daisies? Come here. Come here. You crazy boy. What are you doing with the basil? You're not Italian. Desi. Desi, look. Look at that. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I just loved it. And do you notice Desi is wearing a brand new bow tie from his summer collection? If you get a chance down below, could you share how you're doing this summer? Let us know how you are. Please have yourself a wonderful, happy, brand new week. And when you're done with your week, please come back and see me and Desi, all right? All right, it's a deal. We'll be here. Yeah. Happy birthday to you.